Hello everyone, this is part number 16. We're gonna go to the Barrowholm, Coven as well. Let's summon our friends. We are pretty close to 79. Our damage is okay. Sometimes doors in Grimdown bugs out, so you have to change the camera so you can enter. It's a pretty annoying bug, but happens very often. Just to be aware, just adjust your camera angle for a couple of seconds and the game's gonna allow you to pass. Let's kill Dalgar. Red Knight leg plates. I believe this is a physical vitality. Not bad at all. Probably I'm not gonna use it, but it's a pretty good find for a physical build or vitality build. Just I benefit way too much of this Stone Height of Thorns Soil Pants to change it for a random drop. So here, as I showed you the last time, I use one of the houses to hit all the objectives. It's a very good marker, because otherwise you have to explore more. But cellar from that house leads you exactly to all the objectives that you need from this area. It's a nice little tip. If you want to explore, there is nothing wrong with it. But at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna find something exceptional here. And I'm pretty close to endgame farming and stuff, so I want to be there instead of explore random maps and stuff. Pick up the main stash quest. Gonna be a very good chunk of experience. And we are immediately next to the shrine. I love this shrine. It spawns mostly these 3 stump guys. They have a very high chance to drop Ulrgrim blooms, which I definitely need. Demon Slayer Jack. This is a, if I'm not mistaken, is a Phantasmal Blades set. Yeah, exactly. After that we hit immediately west and we're gonna north as well, and we're gonna find that girl's father. He's here, just as you can see, a little bit northwest from the shrine. He's one of these NPCs that don't want to be saved because he has just a scratch on his leg. So first, this is the chest, but there is something mythical avatar of the order. This is actually a pretty good retaliation amulet. I'm not gonna say it's good for us, but can be very useful. It comes with 1 to Oathkeeper and some rare resistances like Ether and Chaos. Not very good roll, but still a nice replacement from this one. There is a hidden path here, and you're gonna need this guy for an endgame quest. He has this crafting recipe that I'm plan to do because I'm anyways here, and I'm gonna store the quest item in my inventory until I need it later. So we need 1 black tallow. It's a very good quest. She rewards us a potion.
I do the best I can with what I've got.
3 rift stones. Kinda expensive component, but definitely worth it. We want to have access to the locker and farming locker set. I don't need it, but I'm gonna showcase that for you. Because the mod that I play, my personal challenge for the game is to play 0 to hero, completely from the scratch. So I'm not much into fast leveling and using leveling sets. Of course, when it's the community leagues open, I do this, but not in off season. Off season I prefer to play the game completely on a new save, just to feel the builds. We have a pretty good route here, we have a totem. I'm gonna clear a little bit. These guys, they can hit pretty hard. Our 2 next point goes for a Ascension as well, for a nice boost. I have couple of boss fights on my way, so I want some boost to my damage. So tons of necro vitality stuff. Not ideal because we want a specific pants and a specific armor, or at least the blueprint for the armor. I hope it's gonna drop soon. Named hero. They are very good, comes with experience and a reputation. always hit the stumps. There is a chance for a double Ulrgrim bloom drop. Like this one. You can see it's double. We want to get as much as possible. That kill Caraxes. Another totem spawn. Some heroes as well. This is a pretty good roll for this place. Nothing special about the Caraxes. It's a poison based trap. Never found him very dangerous or deadly. No thunder mechanic as well, which make him a regular boss. Of course, if your poison resistance bad, you're gonna suffer some damage. He is a sure way to farm your belt. This is a very good soldier leveling belt. And this one, apart from the arcane blaze, have in previous prefix, which means some sort of random resistances. But suffix is absolutely useless for us. You can give him a few tries if you want, but for now, another in previous, but of frostbite, again, terrible. Nothing useful again. And this is something very useful. This is a rune-bound topaz. A very nice jewelry component. If you need to fix your stun resistance and get a little bit shield damage block, not bad at all. Especially for us, we are sword and board. There is a Ulrgrim bloom that I want. I mess up the exit a little bit. Gonna hit this chest. Some pacifier and bits. We're gonna have few crafting session later on, so I want to be stuck up. This is another encounter. These guys ambush this chest.
Whatever it is you Interesting. If you what you I
See anything you like?
Let clear a little bit. We have several legendaries.
Put it to good use.
We have to go back to Devil's Crossing, blow most of them for materials, but I think for now I'm gonna stick to the questing and stuff. Always press your stuff like Ascension and when you fight heroes, and for normal mobs you can save your cooldowns, but when you find heroes, bosses, that type of encounters, Ascension helps a lot. Got Janaxia's Den. I'm gonna kill her for a quest later on. Sometimes there is a chance for a totem. Bad luck this time, but she's a caster, so gonna be a slightly slow battle. She can dish out a respectful amount of damage, so be careful. Especially if her weapon is the right one. So Shield of the Sage, nothing extremely dangerous, but still close to 100% elemental damage and 140 cold damage on top. This is a serious cold damage. We're gonna scam Mogdrogan again. I just love to have a free key. I'm gonna take his quest, that's a free key. Usually my build don't need any dungeon farm for anything, but if you stack a lot of keys and you make another build that actually needs some MIs from the dungeons, this is basically a free currency, because Chthonic Blood is a very expensive materials. One of the main reasons you don't want to deal with dungeons at this level, it's as you can see, these mobs, they are 16 levels on top, and I take few critical strikes because their offensive ability is much more than my DA. Doing dungeons during leveling is absolutely clickbait. As you can see, heroes even dangerous, they are close to 100 level. And I start take criticals. just don't worth it. Dungeoning is the worst possible option to farm gear. There is a very few exceptions. But just in general, don't worth it. I hope they change something in the future. For example, in the Grimdown League, the season, they change a lot of stuff about dungeoning. They add different events inside. They add a scaling like Shattered Realm, similar to the Shattered Realm. So you can bring a little bit more difficulty for more loot until you're comfortable enough. Exactly like Shattered Realm rules, which make dungeoning a very good way to farm gear, but this is in the season league. In the vanilla game is absolutely rubbish. I don't remember the last time that I actually go in a dungeon and farm for something. It's absolutely inefficient. Because Shattered Realm and Crucible, it's so much faster. Usually if you have optimized build, you can farm 65 and 66 for like a 5-6 up to 7 minutes. All depends on your pilot skills. But it's definitely worth it much more than another clickbait here. This is a Caraval area. This is another world boss similar to Mad Queen. This is another fight you don't want to pick. Especially it's gonna be a dangerous domain. He's gonna be a higher level. And the battle is absolutely rippy. On top of that, this is a 3 dynamites. And there, I'm gonna showcase just the boss. Probably I'm gonna either quit or if things get spicy. There is a lore node here, a pretty good one with nice chunk of experience. This is absolutely scam, don't do it. 3 Ulrgrim blooms, it's absolutely rip-off, not a good deal. So all the mobs here are high level, the boss gonna be high level as well. And the damage comes from everywhere, absolutely terrible battle for a melee build. You have to kill the adds regularly. This is the Thunder mechanic, because if you got overwhelmed, you don't want to stay on the pulse. That's a massive damage. He summons more adds. You have to kill them, other way they can't block you and basically reduce your chances to dodge. He spams Thunder like crazy. Pulse. Even during Ascension I take a lot of damage. At this moment it's a very bad moment for me. My health potion is on a cooldown. I was out of cooldowns as well. This was a very good opportunity for him to finish me off. Again, I'm gonna leave the pulse. This is his most deadly mechanic. On top of that, this Thunder. You have to kill the adds, remember, immediately. They gonna block your ways to dodge, and you don't want this. These pools, they stack on top of each other. That's why you want to constantly move, so he spawned them in different locations instead of in front of him. But as I told you, my advice is skip that battle. I showcase it for you if you still wanna try it, but definitely not worth it. I have some good mutators that don't cripple my build so much, but if this mutator's bad, you're gonna have tons of problems here, and it's not worth it. His MI is not the best. I mean, very few builds can benefit from it. And the battle is extremely hard. He is a world boss after all. You can see I spent there 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. And I am a tanky build. A squishy build can get easily one shot if you don't pay attention and don't. It's a multiple mechanic battle, involves a lot of piloting, dealing with odds, and dodge certain mechanics as well, which for a beginner player can be very, very hard. These punts, they are best in slot for several vitality builds. If they're mythical version, probably you want to keep some of them for a future builds. You don't want to sell them. Basically, I'm gonna probably get rid of them, but remember, this is Wendigo main. You wanna keep pair of them, just in case if you want to play a vitality build at some point. Some items, they don't have 94 version, they have 84 instead. So I'm not sure about these pants. But they are good enough to be kept instead of most of the 75s. So Silvaria is not here. Another problem is I didn't find any of the quest items, and probably I have to farm at some point. So let's check the second location. So kinda bad luck. Silvaria lair is gonna be at the third possible option. Some rover's reputation. This is the next shrine that I need a raid for it. These components that I pre-craft. Again. This is Ugdal. Again. I'm gonna explain the quest, just in case if you missed that on the previous episodes. The best way to deal with this quest is basically punish him. He gonna reward you a Wendigo spirit. Instead of take one from you and give you one as well, this gonna be 50-50. I don't want that. I prefer to have one extra rare material. Also, there is a high chance, especially if you play at normal, you don't have Wendigo main. And it's gonna stuck in your quest log for a long time until also the location is pretty bad. That's why the easiest way is just banish him, pick the Botham options. It's much better than... So the witches is a fixed location, spawn location, supposed to be somewhere here. Probably I have to go back. I think it's here. And I missed them. Yeah. So it's always here. We save the witches. We're gonna proceed to one of the most boring and annoying quest lines in the game. That's why, great, please do something about this quest line. It's terrible. I just hope in the future they gonna make a alternative way to summon Ravager, so I don't have to deal with this quest line. I prefer to be hostile with them 100 times instead of deal with their annoying quest line.
Well spent. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. See you around.
So we have some pretty good finds.
You strike. All right then.
I'm not sure what's my status with them. Very far from honored, but that's okay, I don't need anything from them. Their stuff are mostly bleeding and pet oriented. So again, here you want to check every single corner of this mine. You don't want to end up short on a crab kills. You have to redo the whole mine. This is the problem with this quest. So as you can see, they can be everywhere. You can have a little fog here and miss them. There is a spawn location here as well. It looks empty, but it's not. You have to approach, and they gonna come under the ground. There is a shrine here at Ultimate. It's a desecrated one, so good stuff. It's gonna come with some materials. Thanks to the hero spawns. As every single mine in this game, there is at least one guaranteed dynamite. And maybe few optional ones. There is a treasure trove. It's gonna have at least one rare material or a blueprint. This is a pretty good pants, a craftable pants with tons of resistances. It's a... If you manage to craft the good ones, they can be an amazing endgame options for tons of builds. Don't be fooled by the color. Blueprint is for a yellow item, but when you start crafting, you can get double rare, like a rare prefix and rare suffix. It's all about luck, but item becomes green. At this point, Nox and Shade can be dangerous, much more dangerous than Caraxes full, cause he spawned these ether fields like any corrupted hero in the game, and he start ramping some damage. I like to heal him because comes with Coven reputation. So at this point, the best thing you can do is just rift to the Barrowholm and get the next way south, finish the next two quests. That's why I hate this questline. Involves too much walking and nothing exciting at all. Just clicking some war totems, rescuing villagers, dealing with this annoying mine, They have to either change the questline for something more exciting or just put on another way to summon Ravager, cause okay, that's good. We find the horn. We need that for a quest. It's a follow-up quest, but at least these quest items they drop even if you don't have the quest in the log. That's why Grim Dawn is a very good ARPG. You don't have to interact with the NPCs all the time to trigger quests and stuff. Okay, this one is actually terrible spawn. There is a corrupted Wendigo. Doesn't matter if your resistance capped or not, these pools they stack and they deal tons of damage. Again, mostly caster stuff. But still we slowly build our blacksmith. Every single useless blueprint increase our chances to find the actual ones that we need. Our job here is done.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Let's get rid of the useless stuff. We need some space.
Iron well spent.
Is there something you...
Again, Ascension, Cunning.
We've always had...
And I did something stupid. I rewrite my rift for the Sylvaria. I have to walk again. But let's first finish this quest. Thankfully, the spawning point is nearby the Barrowholm, so it's not so bad. So here, doesn't matter what you pick, Laria's gonna be dead.
I don't know.
I like to spare her for the extra Wendigo spirit, but later on, anyways, Corv's gonna kill her. You're gonna find her at the camp.
Have you dealt with Eve of Rabbit?
Next time she's gonna be here, dead at the camp. So let's take care of Silvaria. That's the another one-shot chest. Nothing particularly useful, but I don't mind the extra bits. It's gonna be a slow battle. She doesn't trigger any retaliation at all. That's the main downside of physical retaliation build. There is no legit way to deal with the casters. But still a pretty solid farmer. And a pretty solid starter build until you acquire some wealth, because it's pretty hard to be killed. I mean, if you play softcore, doesn't really matter, you're gonna be wealth enough anyways. There is no penalty like other games. If you die, you don't have to retrieve your corpse or something. You just spawn in the nearby city and continue again.
You've returned. You chose to negotiate with the thieves. In the altar of Ratosh. Now that you have, ever since the you have brought deep beneath good.
So this is pretty good. There is a several quest here. We have to restore the wards. There is a Janaxia quest. Or actually this one was for the witches. So soft cap on Ascension. Actually this one is don't have so much diminishing returns, so I can max it out. And at this point I think either we go for this one, because comes with a pretty good chance for a block, or we can work a little bit here on the passives. We can get a little bit more blind sight or more DA shred. We're gonna sort this out. There is the witch that we saved from the guys that want to burn her. Nice passive experience. And this quest with the words can be a little bit confusing with because first word is exactly at the city and you don't expect that. My first time I searched for this like half an hour or something because I don't expect fight inside the city. It's pretty unusual for ARPGs. And the next two, they are pretty close to each other. So that's the last word totem.
Have you? Everything is.
So we have to protect her during the ritual. You can see how much more interesting Coven quests are compared to Barrowholm. You have variety, you have interesting encounters. This is the boss. It's a kinda extremely tanky basilisk.
Freeze. Welcome.
I can smell.
Let's save our friend Ulrgrim. We got actually mythical versions of our items. I'm gonna swap this over really fast. This comes with better stats. This one is 26. It's just 20. So yeah. Did a mistake, didn't check both of them. I'm gonna check if I can use the boots. That hurts my elemental resistance a little bit. But it's a much better armor and much better damage. I have to find a way to deal with this. But I don't want to risk it, so I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Usually in Ultimate you want to be, especially when you play hardcore, you don't want to make experiments with yourself and say to you, okay, 2 resistances, this is not too bad, but it is. You can take massive damage for this 2% difference, especially if you get shredded. During the campaign there is several heroes, bosses that shred up to 25 of all resistances. There is a shrine here this time, Ultimate. It's a desecrated one. Terrible spawn. This is a arcane mob. I'm gonna try to burst it. Also these guys, they put an aura that reduce your max health bar. So I lost like 3k worth of health, which can be very dangerous on squishy builds. Because it's a 20% if I'm not mistaken, and this one can put you in a very bad threshold. For example, if you have 10k life, this guy is gonna drop you to 8000, which for Ultimate is terrible. That's gonna make your circuit breakers less effective as well. When you fight Chthonics, you always want to take care of the Brute Mothers first, because they're gonna heal you the rest of the enemies. So Iketsu, nothing so much deadly around him. You have to move out of the volcanoes. They have a shotgun mechanic. His volcanoes pretty weak compared to Gargable ones. Gargable has the most deadliest volcanoes in the game. This is the boss from a ancient grove. Not gonna fight this, pretty annoying, too much brute mothers. They gonna heal each other, gonna heal the rest of the mobs. Here is Ulrgrim.
Is that your mother?
I'm gonna fight him again.
And I had ourselves an unfortunate accident, my emperor. Wait.
Because my build is a completely counter to his. He attacks pretty fast, so he's gonna take a lot of retaliation damage in return. I hope my damage is enough to out-damage his Q. For now goes pretty bad. He use pneumatic burst very often, so it's gonna be a slow battle. He is a demigod, so if your build is squishy, just pick the other conversation option, just to remember him you're his friend, and that's it. You don't have to fight him. Honestly, I feel I did a mistake, that's too slow. He's a level 96, so the only way to score some damage is during the ascension duration. After that, my damage drops a lot. Definitely did a mistake. Terrible battle. He's way too tanky.
Yes. To mount, I see.
We got surrounded, so I'm gonna pop Ascension and deal with these guys. Another gentle reminder, it's very hard to miss him. He's under this stone, as you can see, and if your camera is like this, it's absolutely easy to not see him, and you just move forward.
It's good. You're right. Oh,
And there is a several cases that people ask how to proceed. They can't find Ulrgrim, blah blah blah, but he's here. So we get revert with the Black Legion. That means I can buy their mandate for old characters. I'm not gonna buy it because I'm not gonna have olds, but keep in mind this one is a account bind. You can use it, of course it's only for hardcore characters because my character is a hardcore. So there is a two different stash tabs for hardcore and softcore, but you can use it on another hardcore character if you buy it, and you have to click this at level 1.
To good use. Come see what's left of my wares. Iron well spent. Iron well spent.
So their components pretty good. They have I mean this one, sorry, not this one. I forgot to change the page. So this one is account bind. You can use it on a different characters. It's one per character, but you can buy it, put it on the shared stash. So this is their components. It's one of the best one in the game, because this one is 9 to Ether, 9 to Chaos, and this one is 9 Pierce, 12 Poison, so not too bad. Some very useful boots as well. And their weapon powders, I'm not sure if there is something that I want. This is not a bad one. Can give you a chance to basically add 200 to all damage. I think this one is slightly better than what I have. Mine is some flat damage, but this gonna give me a nice chunk of resistances. So I'm gonna swap over until I get my endgame ones. I'm gonna port to Devil's Crossing. For the next episode I want to start from here so I can do some shopping and basically to blow with dynamite this stuff. Rearrange my inventory and put my stuff on the stash. But for now, this is the episode for now. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.